The Toronto Raptors are in a 2-0 series hole, and that is about what they deserve. It has not been a bright, shining first two games of the postseason for the Raps, who are now hoping a return to Toronto can get them back on track, but even that might not be enough. It hasn't looked close so far. Let's break down the first two games of that Eastern Conference quarterfinal. So, like I said, this has not been a good start to the postseason for the Toronto Raptors. They have struggled mightily against this Cleveland Cavaliers team. Now, I will say, they stepped up a little bit in game two, which is good, but it still doesn't look great. And it is tough because he's been an all-star this season. He has played so well, but the Raptors need Brandon Ingram to be better. He needs to be so much better. Game one, I think rightly so, calls for more shots, just 9 in the game. I think it was like the fourth or fifth fewest he had with the Raptors all season long, so in his Raptors career, I suppose. And it's tough because Barnes had a pretty good day in game one, but no one else in the offense did, so you need to try to kind of find that flow, find that rhythm for him. So they had the offense run through him in game two, and I thought he was pretty dreadful. None of the shots were falling. There were some times where it was a good look and it just didn't go for him, like the make or miss league thing. But it just felt like there was a lot of focus on trying to get him going, and that came at the detriment of the rest of the offense. And it just kind of made what was already a team that felt like they were a little bit behind the eight ball offensively feel just even that much more behind things on the offensive side. So they need him to be better in this series for them to have a hope. Because right now, like they showed it on the broadcast on TSN last night, the graphic of Mitchell and Harden versus Barnes and Ingram, and they were just getting whooped on. And that basically everything positively on the Raptor side was coming from Scotty Barnes there. Like there's not enough going on with him. And defensively, it's going to be tricky when Quickly comes back. What do they do with a guard duo that's already kind of crushing them? And Quickly, who's not going to get many Defensive Player of the Year votes anytime soon. So what do you do with him? But I think offensively, having him back is going to be very good. Like it feels like, well, I like Shed, and I even don't mind at times having like Ingram run the offense. It does feel like they've needed a facilitator to settle things down and just get them into the offense a little bit easier. Whether it was game one when it was just Cleveland would get a shot and we need to answer right back three. Chuck missed, back the other way it goes, and fast break opportunity and Cleveland scores. Like that's what was happening in game one. And then in game two, there was just no flow to it. There was nothing really clicking for this team to get them into that rhythm on the offensive side. And I think that's where they do miss Quickly here. So we will see if he'll be available for game three when the series returns to Toronto in a couple of days here, because the offense needs something to kind of guide it through some of these tough moments here. I do like that there have been some positives here, right? Like Barnes has played very well. RJ has even stepped up in some moments too, but Colin Murray-Boyles, unbelievable work. And yeah, you can go on this channel and find where I was freaking out about him being upset about getting drafted by the Raptors. Apparently that was misinterpreted and everything there. And if he's upset about being a Raptor, he is sure doing a heck of a job of auditioning for other teams. Obviously, I don't think that's the case. I think he is really happy to be in Toronto, and he is showing it. He has stepped up in a big-time way to the point where he started at center in the second half to try to give this team a bit of a spark, getting the minutes over Pirtle, who has just looked so out of place and looked like such a liability. And that's not awesome when you have a gigantic extension that hasn't even started yet, about to kick in next year. But Murray-Boyles has just done everything that you could have asked him to do and everything you could have asked a rookie to do in this series. And I'll be interested to see now what the lineups look like going into game number 3 here. But the main thing is they need to figure out something to kind of slow Harden down. He has been phenomenal in this series, and I am one of the leading haters of James Harden, career-wise, all of that, to the point where I'll see clips people talking about, oh, yeah, and the first ballot Hall of Famer, this, that, and the other thing. And I'm just like, oh, that's not, oh, well, yeah, okay. You know, like sometimes I have to catch my own kind of haterade going on with this dude, but he's still very, very good, and he is showing it here in this series. The wizardry that he has, passing the basketball and distributing, some of the big shots that he is making, an expert in the stiff arm and the push-off, obviously, being a little facetious here, but this has been a very good James Harden series, and he is absolutely crushing the Raptors. The only time he's looked even a little bit flustered is when length gets switched onto him. And so I do wonder, I don't know if you're trusting Ingram to just stay in front of him for 30 minutes or whatever. And Barnes, you can't take him off of Mobley because then Mobley's killing you. But I do wonder if trying to throw a little bit more size, a little bit more length at Harden to just try to get into some of those passing lanes a little bit better might be the way to go with that, because he has been just absolutely dynamite. And then Mitchell stepping, I mean, all of them. Like, there hasn't really been a dud in the bunch for Cleveland so far. So we'll see how that series goes. Am I being too hard on the Raptors? Let me know down in the comments, and what do you think they need to do to kind of dig themselves out of this hole going into game number 3? We can chat about that down in the comments. Let me know how you think we can kind of salvage this Raptors season. And while you're at it, hit that share button so we can keep this conversation going with a bunch of Raptor fans. We're trying to grow the community, love talking about basketball, and the Raptors specifically. Don't know how much longer we'll be able to do that this year, but love doing that. So want to grow the community here with Couch Potato Diary. Hit that share button. Share this with some of your basketball fan friends, or if you just want to taunt a Raptor fan, you can do that too, and they can come fire back here in the comments. But that would be a great help here with Couch Potato Diary.